Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little bit different, but honestly incredibly profound. Instead of getting bogged down in complex data sets or historical timelines, we're going to step back and do a close, thematic reading of a very brief, deeply personal piece of media. It's a lyrical transcript from a YouTube creator named Benanda Das, and it's titled, "Let Us Start a New Life Together." Now, at first glance, you might just see a poetic letter. But as we break this down together, we're going to uncover a beautifully structured exploration of a completely universal human desire. We're talking about that desperate, burning need for escape, for renewal, and for profound connection.
Okay, so let's jump right in by anchoring ourselves on this powerful recurring mantra. This single phrase, leave this country forever and start a new life together, it literally beats like a heart throughout the entire text. It's repeated over and over, creating this rhythmic, almost hypnotic foundation for the whole piece. And, it's not just a passing thought. It is an urgent, pleading directive. As you'll see, everything else we're going to look at today basically revolves around the immense gravitational pull of this one desperate wish to just abandon current reality for a shared, totally unknown future.
Section 1. The Plea for Escape. Desires of the Soul. So, what actually sets this intense emotional outpouring in motion? Well, the narrator grounds us in what they beautifully call the desires of my soul. And these desires essentially rest on four fundamental pillars: success, happiness, love, and truth. Notice how the narrator isn't asking for anything crazy complex or super materialistic here. They are simply seeking the absolute baseline requirements for fulfilling human existence. By laying these out right at the start, we understand exactly what the foundational stakes are before the real plea even begins. But then, bam! From those lofty philosophical goals, we immediately crash into this visceral, purely physical yearning. This really dials up the emotional stakes of the text. It introduces us to Summer. And Summer acts as both the recipient of this letter and the ultimate muse. Just look at the sensory language here. The hotness of her body, the sweet kiss. My emotions are on fire. It's so passionate and urgent, right? It contrasts so sharply with those abstract ideas of truth and success we just looked at, yanking the narrator's desires right down to a raw, incredibly human level. Moving right along to Section 2, Desire and the Muse, Artistic Fixation. Now, let's look at how this builds from mere physical longing into a total, absolute artistic fixation. Because at this point, Summer is no longer just a person to the narrator. That physical longing has basically mutated into pure inspiration. Your image became my sensation, you became the center of my creations. She is literally the creative epicenter of their entire existence. The narrator's very ability to feel, to experience sensation, and their ability to create are now completely tangled up with this one person. So leaving the country to start a new life, it isn't just about changing geography anymore. It's about preserving the absolute core source of their creative and emotional life. Section 3. Loss and Struggle. A Wandering Soul. But we really have to ask ourselves, why is there such a desperate need to leave the country forever? Like, what exactly are they running from? Well, in these bold, stark terms, we see the narrator's deeply isolated state, wandering like a no-man searching for relationship. Before that fateful letter from Summer arrived, the narrator was completely adrift. Calling yourself a no-man implies a complete lack of identity, zero roots, and just a profound sense of alienation from the entire world around them. And honestly, this bleak emotional landscape is exactly what makes the idea of a new life sound so incredibly appealing. Then, out of nowhere, we are introduced to this profound earthly struggle. Up until now, we've mostly dealt with internal emotions and romantic yearning. But here we see a tragic loss of personal agency. The little bit of success I had was taken away by force. Wow. That implies some kind of systemic opposition, a deep betrayal, or just a harsh reality that completely crushed the narrator's earlier attempts at those core soul desires we talked about earlier. They aren't just wandering, they have literally been actively defeated by their current environment. Yet, despite all that pain and forced loss, the narrator absolutely refuses to be broken. They cling to this powerful internal truth. Powerful minds, power-free souls. It's an incredible assertion of mental fortitude. They're saying that even if their external success was violently taken away, their mind remains powerful, and therefore, their soul remains free. It totally hints at the immense internal strength and resilience you absolutely need to pack up, leave literally everything behind, and start over completely. Which brings us to Section 4, The Rainforest Sanctuary, a Natural Utopia. Leaving the massive struggle of the city behind, the text suddenly shifts focus toward a hyper-specific sanctuary where healing can begin. On one side, you have exactly what the narrator is running from, right? The struggle, the pain, the harsh reality of the city, and the absolute trauma of having success taken by force. And on the flip side, we have the dreamed future: peace, grace, simplicity, and the lush, isolated safety of the rainforest. It's essentially a total rejection of modern societal structures in favor of a complete return to nature. So the rainforest becomes the ultimate symbol of a clean slate. It's this environment bursting with life, yet completely removed from the rigid, unforgiving structures of the city. Out here, the narrator can finally forget the complex pains of their past, stuff the text earlier references like prayers in church and the attractions of love that just led to more pain. The rainforest represents this pure, beautifully simple life where they can rebuild entirely on their own terms, safely hidden away with their muse. And finally, Section 5, A Cosmic New Life, Reaching the Infinite. Now, in a breathtaking shift of scale, the narrator's vision totally transcends the physical Earth, moving immediately from those grounding, earthly roots of the rainforest. Their boundless imagination literally expands to encompass the entire cosmos. Dreaming about you, thinking about space, stars, and galaxies. It's almost as if the rainforest itself just isn't big enough to contain the sheer magnitude of the new life they're envisioning. Their love for summer and the profound relief of this planned escape propels their consciousness straight out into the universe. But you know what is truly beautiful here? The actual purpose behind this cosmic expansion. Because this vision is definitely not about conquering the stars or seeking some sort of crazy new worldly success. It is simply about finding a canvas large enough for sharing peace and grace. After all those struggles, after wandering around like a no-man and having their hard-earned success taken by force, the ultimate destination, whether that's hidden in a rainforest or way out among the galaxies, is just a quiet, shared state of profound peace with the person they love. And so we return once more to the hypnotic rhythm that anchors this entire explainer. That relentless, passionate plea to completely abandon the past for love. Let us start a new life together. The repetition throughout the original transcript totally mirrors the beating of a heart, or maybe the rhythmic pacing of someone anxiously waiting for an answer. It's a powerful testament to the fact that no matter how far the mind wanders, into the dark past, deep into the jungle, or way out into the stars, it always, always snaps back to this one singular, desperate hope. As we wrap up this textual deconstruction, I want to leave you with a final thought. The absolute genius of this piece is how it takes a deeply personal plea and makes it so incredibly universal. Look, we all have our struggles. We all have those moments where we just feel like wandering souls. So I want you to reflect on this. If you were to leave your own earthly struggles behind to start a brand new life, what would your ultimate sanctuary of peace and grace actually look like? Where would your rainforest be? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating text with me today on The Explainer. Keep asking questions and keep seeking your own peace and grace.